Everyone. Uh, Welcome to our online series 5.0 Chat the Future. Today's topic will be the power of diligence and consistency. My name is Shio Yusuf, and I'll be your host. And before we dive into the business of the day with Kehinde Giwa, I'd like for the president of YEC, Damola Giwa. Damola, how you there? To quickly give us a welcome note, and we go into the session proper.
Yeah, I was just sending you a message that Tony Daniels will be doing that for us.
Okay.
Can you help us do that? So
Hello, sir.
Tony Daniels is the vice president of YEC and
Yes,
one of the founding fathers. So
Yes,
Tony, please help us welcome everyone, please. Thank you.
He's also the immediate past president of YEC.
yes, sir.
This putting on this spot. Thank you so very much. All right, so thanks everyone for joining us. I mean, it's a day we've all been looking forward to for the past 2 weeks, and I know I'm excited being here today. I know Kenny, and I know how I will say God has really helped him, and he has also taken some of the principles that we've all hold very dear in YEC into his life. And so far, I mean, it's an exhibit of what all this knowledge and the wealth of wisdom that we all share together can produce out of a life that takes wisdom very seriously. So I believe we are here today for a great time. I'm so excited. I'm expectant. I believe from the knowledge of wisdom, life experiences of others that we're going to be sharing together today, somebody will become better than you actually joined this forum. So if you've not invited out your friend, there's still time. We're just starting. So you can quickly remind the person that the ball is dropping now, or the big bang is happening now. The person should join us as early as possible, because sometimes you attend some programs and you look back and say, I wish Mr. B was here, I wish Mr. B was there. Sometimes there's no opportunity to relive the experience. So I want to welcome us once again. Let's just get, and I'm hopeful that at the end it will all be better than we are at the moment. So once again, you're welcome. Do have a wonderful time. At the end of the session, I think thank you so much.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Tony. And like we've seen the topic, the power of diligence and consistency. I do not know of any industry where you need to play in and you wouldn't need this to do very well. Career, to non-profit, to governance, to whatever aspect you can think of. Yeah, even in marriage, these concepts are very important. Yeah, because they help you stay focused on something and consistently deliver value in something, whatever you're actually doing. So they are very key, and mastering them, yeah, and a proper understanding of this concept would help you do well, irrespective of what you started out at or what you're currently exploring. Yeah, and that's why we at YEC thought that we need to help people understand these concepts, expatiate it further for them to learn and deploy in wherever areas of their life. And to do that, we have Mr. Kehinde Giwa that will help us through understanding these concepts properly. So just you can connect with Kehinde Giwa on LinkedIn. He has a very great profile, and we're trying to juggle lots of interesting things. I was like, no, let me just keep it and he would on himself, yeah, later on. So Kehinde Giwa is an information technology manager with strong expertise in IT security. He has over 10 years experience in IT within financial services industry with multiple awards due to its excellent performance over time. Kehinde is well known as a thought leader in the IT security space and has grown rapidly in his career consistent, excellent performance and leadership. And that's why he's here for us to, for him to teach us and explain concepts around consistency, diligence. And come to think of it, this current space, IT security and all, trust me, you have to be consistently diligent. You know, because you can't say you deployed one upgrade as regards cyber security and you're laxing on next week or next month. No, continuously you have to be on your toes, yeah? And I can imagine if we all get to display such in every area of our life, consistency and the likes, we get to go so far. So I think I'd leave the stage for Kehinde Giwa. I'd want you to take us through this concept, yeah? A deep dive. Use your personal story, use your experiences to explain this concept so that we can digest and understand this. Yeah, you have. Thank you.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. And good afternoon, evening. Good afternoon. It's between. Good afternoon, everyone. And thanks for the opportunity. I've been informed that this is supposed to be an hour session, amongst which we will take questions. Hopefully, I'll be able to respond to our questions. And thanks for the introduction. YC, thank you. It's all about excellence. And in all our endeavors, the primary thing is anything we're doing is worth doing right. And we strive for excellence in all we do. So I'm sure we have a lot of our senior brothers on the call on this session. I basically will be focusing on. So I don't have, in terms of experience and the likes, I'm so confident. I'm sure that quite a number of people are more experienced than myself, even on this topic. And we will collectively at least do justice to this topic. However, there are some salient points, there are some areas I want to touch. Basically, so the topic is the power of diligence and consistency. However, we limit it's within the context of career excellence. So we'll be going through the power of diligence and consistency within the context of career excellence. And I will be just basically focusing on these basic life cycles of choosing the career, sustaining it, and growing it. So we're looking at the contents within career excellence and across those basic life cycles when you're making the choice and sustaining the choice and growing it. But I must mention, just like last week, the last Child the Future was quite intense. We had the erudite Ayo Alabani actually took us through some basic requirements to be a successful entrepreneur and the likes. And discipline is key. So there's no way you can, sorry, there's some noise. So there's no way we can actually do this without that key discipline requirement also. But simply because before we go into the details and probably before I share some experience, which I also know that a lot of people will like to ask some questions. It's just to draw the line between consistency and like we've. So okay, I think everyone was muted. Please let's try as much as possible to stay on mute so that we don't distract other people. So consistency and diligence is like Shim rightly said, in the field that we work. I won't talk much about the IT and the life space. We just talk generally because it cut across different phases, all the phases of life, basically. We can't run away from, if you're driving towards being successful and driving towards excellence, we can't rule out the place of consistencies and diligence. And there's a thin line. It's not even thin line, it's quite distinct. But I would like to just make it some point around that, just for clarity, to put clarity. First and foremost, I will say diligence is the power behind consistency. So if you need to be consistent, and consistency is also vital for success. You can't rule it out. And I'll be playing in a role, a position whereby I put diligence as key, and everybody needs to aspire that position of being consistent in what you do. But if you're not diligent, there's likelihood that your consistency will always come out as inconsistent. So today we say the mindset that continues to do what? So it's a mindset that continues to do that we have set to do. So for every organization, in every area we actually dominate, it could be people still aspiring. So I'll be very conscious of our folks that are still growing. Everybody is still growing, but at least the target is trying to equip people so that we can be best at what we do. So there is aspiring to do consistency. We need to aspire to be consistent. We need to consciously drive towards consistency. And that's the mindset. Continue to do everything that needs to get done. You just find every possible avenue and means to ensure that it's done. So it remains the same in your action, and the quality of your action, you just maintain that set level of perfection and excellence in everything you deliver. Day and night, you strive to be consistent. And it pertains to your channel is aimed towards achieving that goal. So to achieve lasting success, you can't run away from being consistent. But there's a way, there's a caveat, there's a balance I'll try to put to it roughly just before we give room for questions. So if a lot of people have always probably been, you have been disturbed, you probably set out to do this, you've heard feedback that you have to do this 3 times a day, you have to set out to do this and do that. One way or the other, we are not able to meet up with all those things. There's also that we need to now desire, that is diligence. Diligence is the power that drives consistency. And so before I share how this one has played and how it has helped me as a person and in my career, I will just, diligence is, and the opposite of diligence, like you rightly know, is what? Laziness. If you are not diligent, you're probably slack in your delivery, in your endeavors, or lazy. And the good thing about the two is that they set you in a motion, a particular motion. It's either you're diligent or you're lazy, but either way you've chosen to take up, it's set you on a particular motion. It's either positive or negative, and it's based on your choice of action. So we can choose to remain lazy, we can choose to be diligent in everything we do. So diligence is that constant effort that we put to accomplish something, to achieve something, and it's attention and being persistent about delivery. So we consciously, we pay attention and we be persistent about delivery. In everything we do, as everybody that is gathered here, we are young and we are excellent. We strive towards being diligent. We don't give, we don't stop giving it attention. We give it all the attentions in it. I will make it a point of duty to do something every day that pertains to what we try to accomplish. That is being diligent. It's the power, it's the force that just gets us to do. The reward of diligence is what? And consistency is success. We can't rule it out. It's success. And very shortly, like I've said, I will share some brief story. I'll share some history and how the whole journey started. I will share about the force, the conscious effort I've also put in place that have at least given me some traction and some mileage in what the current field that I operate with currently. But there is also a difference. We need to get the difference between this diligence and being consistent very clearly. And I'll make it very short. I will look at the example. Somebody like, take for instance, you set out to work out. You say, okay, I will have on a daily basis for the next 30 days, I will do this, I will do that, and I will ensure that it's done daily. And you put in everything, the power, whatever you need to ensure that that is done. Doing it consistently, doing it daily as you have mapped it out is being consistent. Take for instance, working out. So you say you will work out and you actually determine to have it accomplished. If you're able to do it on a daily basis for 30 days, then you are consistent. However, diligence is now when when in the course of doing it, maybe it's a treadmill, you set out that it's treadmill, or you walk out or you run. And at the point of doing it, you probably got strained your muscle or your ankle or something, and you could not do it. With that way, because of earth and the lights and the other factors around it, you are not able to meet up with it. And diligence now coming, even after you've now gotten out of that your place, the strength that gets you to get back on track and ensure that I've set this in motion and I have to accomplish it. That's diligence. Diligence is what takes you out of your bed, sick bed, and after you've recovered and you get back to what you have set to do. That is diligence. You might have determined that, okay, I want to be posting, maybe it's blogging and the likes. And in the next 30 days, I'll post 3 posts on my blog daily. And you actually set out to do it. But diligence is now when you're taking out pain. Probably something has happened to you, and out of that pain, you still sit down to ensure that I meet up with that thing I've set out to do. That's diligence. It's the power that just gets you to accomplish what you have set out to do. Diligence is very key. We'll get to a point where I'll just draw the line and try to say that, okay, there's a saying that say inconsistent diligence is still diligence, so to say. But there's a caveat to it that I'll just draw the lines, and I will take questions, and hopefully, because our time we don't have so much time, so I will try and run through it. So we're saying there is a difference between diligence, and there's a difference between diligence and consistency. There's a guiding power. There's a power that drives our consistency, and that's the power, and that's diligence. And we need to be fully aware of it. Diligence is, to me, is stronger, and is stronger, and that's what determines the determining force. So when you've gone to the hospital bed, you're on it for weeks, and you're able to stand back and go and go back to what you have set out to do. Let's forget that everything we're doing here is all set out to achieve a goal. Anybody that has determined to work out and want to be the best blogger, probably you have a goal to be the best top 3 blogger or whatsoever in whatsoever role you play with. So there's a goal that we're driving at, and we need to be very aware that to maintain that pace, to maintain that consistency, we won't play with being diligent. But just before I go into myself, I want so I don't want to come here and start saying, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, and if you fail in doing this, probably there's people have said that if you have to blog, you need to be consistent in your posting schedule, you need to do something 3 times a day or 2 times or whatsoever, don't miss a day. Even if you are married, it doesn't matter if you have a full-time job or not, you just need to do this, wake up. The successful people, they do this before they go to bed and the likes. That is not, so a lot of us, because there are a lot of factors that could actually impact the consistency. What I'm staying on this evening is being consistent, being diligent, so to say, being diligent. If you have that power of diligence, like we say now, this in where I work, is close to 12 years now. And some of people have asked me some different questions and everything. And it all started with, if you're part of YEC, you'll be privy to some of the programs we've done in the past. And we've said that we leverage on friends and family also. By the time you're part of the session that your Alaba took us during the YEC conference at Howard some times ago. So my own journey, let me just quickly run us through my journey and how I've tried to maintain that line that line in terms of my career. Truly, I grew up to desire being an engineer and the likes, and it's actually born out of the passion to fix things, passion to provide solutions to. So the IT team was not so much. So I was like, let's just get things fixed. Let's get things fixed. And over time, I studied engineering, and today I'm not practicing engineering, and it's also part of some things that we talk about. So it all boils down to your passion also needs to drive your career and the like. But if you have time, you also now go into the depth of it. But the fact that you're still on it, remember I said that we'll be considering this from the context of career excellence across different life cycles of career advancement in terms of choosing the career, sustaining it, and growing it. So if diligence, consistency, passion, excellence, and quite a number of things. Last week, the 2 weeks, we did something about, is it DYI being loyal, what Ayalaba took us through as part of the diligence, fidelity, integrity, and trust, and the likes. Those are valid areas to just keep you going. So I start my career, it's always been in IT right from the start. And it was as a result, it wasn't because of what I studied. It was as a result of, I can also attribute it to hard work today. I can attribute it to being consistent in the things I do. Because the truth is, our parent back up till now, and a lot of people on the call are fully aware that we run a school. And I also, I probably leverage on the opportunity that I was given to just take ownership of things that has to do with the computer part of things and the likes. So, so I was doing more without, it was a lot of sacrifice, and I must tell everyone, a lot of people are fully aware because I work day and night, I work overnight, and just to ensure that computer questions and are ready to be delivered, to be typed. It was in that process that my typing skill and my computer skill just increased. That was immediately after school. I've not even gone for service and the like. So it was more so over time in school, started taking some certifications, learning around Cisco and the like, just start building the career along that path. But I remember something that just kept me going, because the truth is, when I was used to working and not expecting anything in return based on that. It was a family commitment. So I wasn't being paid any salary and the likes. And I worked day and night. I must tell you that I worked day and night. Immediately things get bad. I've gotten myself in Lagos. I've gotten myself in Computer Village. I've gone down, I've returned back in the middle of exam session. We've gotten by overnight to ensure that questions are printed and the likes, how those things are delivered. And I remember part of what actually got me, what led me to where I am is, those are the basic questions that were asked during interview. So I got to the interview and the likes. I'm cutting all those. I don't want to go into detail because I'm trying to watch time. But I'm just, interview session was basically things that I've volunteered, not volunteered, I've given up myself up in terms of commitment to deliver. So it was quite seamless. So it was basic question. Though I've not done it then, there were some things that are more like the enterprise version of those things that we're doing then. So it's not like I know them, but the basic principles are there that I was able to explain and got me the job. So I've been on the job for quite a number of time. And some questions have been asked that how have I managed failure? How have I managed when things don't go right? But I've always shared with my team that truly I can't recall any major failure. I can't recall any major. So like Shem said when we started, that being in that role of information security, and for me, basically, I oversee, I run with where I work, I run with IT security operations, the cyber security space and the likes. So we are purely responsible for deploying policy, applying policy, make sure that people don't compromise policy and standard and things that way. So there are a lot of tools at your disposal that you can play with. There are a lot of error that you can make that can mark or destroy the reputation of the company at large. But today, I've never for once been caught up with things that violate policy. I've never been queried in such, my file does not have a single query to date. And one of the things that I also now look at is what led to that, what brought that up. It now comes back to this power of being diligent and being consistent in what you do. It comes down to being able to play to the core values, to the values. Some of the questions that we've gotten also like, what are your driving force? There's a value that governs everybody. In everything you do, you need to aspire to know yourself. What do you stand for? What are your core values? So And I can't keep going, taking away what we learned those few weeks back, which is basically around integrity, fidelity, trust, and the likes. And those are the things that will actually keep you going. So in terms of your making choice, remember I've said that a lot of things will drive it, but passion is very key. I can't say there are no challenges. There's times that you still get overwhelmed in the right choice that you have chosen. We all aspire right from day one, you want to play in that role of information security, but challenges will still always come. But the only thing that will keep you going, like I've said, is your diligence at what you do. The passion of what you're doing will always keep you going. So you don't choose a choice out of the option available. It can get you going just for a short while, but when the rubber hits the road, you will struggle. When the rubber hits the road, you will struggle. So I just encourage us to hold firm to diligence, to hold firm to still being consistent. We can't rule it out. To hold down firm to discipline. We need to be highly disciplined, to hold firm to that to fidelity, trust, that people can actually win your trust, whatever you say, and people can actually, based on that, take your word for it. Those are the driving force. Those are the power that will get you excel in your career. And I believe, because I'm basically more of a career person, and I'm sure they cut across every areas of life, even if you're an entrepreneur, if in your business and the likes. On this Chart the Future series, we've learned also quite a number of things around this, whereby we can, even if you're setting up on your own, you can't take the role of diligence and consistency out of what you need to aspire. You can't take it away. So you selecting your what is important to you is very key, to select your choice, what you enjoy doing, and what you do very well. And in as much as you have done that, you will still get to a phase in your life that in the career journey, that things will just come quite overwhelming. And what will keep you going is the diligence, is the passion, is the love for what you do. So on that note, I'll still share some things, but I don't know if Shane will take some or whatever approach that we like to take. I'll be happy to.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kehinde. So at this point, I'll say, please. I know we already have questions. Kindly drop your questions in the chat room, so we get to pick them up and engage Kehinde and them. Yeah. But Kehinde, you made mention of integrity, trust. You know, these are very valuable currencies that people should have at this point in time. So I just want to take you back a bit and maybe perhaps make you go more granular. Yeah. So I'm a fresh graduate. Yeah, and I'm listening to this. I now understand diligence, consistency, and all. Can you just quickly take me through a step-by-step process tips on how I could build this? You know, do I need to start with highlighting what my focus is, then build a timetable, then look for a community of people that can help me do this? Can you just quickly take us through this bit so that some graduates are here and people can clearly articulate this and follow through?
So like I said, it is very important to, the first thing is that you know yourself. You really need to know yourself. So if you're fresh graduate, you're still aspiring, or probably you're doing something and you know that it's just to get started, you have a plan to, it's a starting point. So first thing first is know yourself. What are your values? What are their areas of interest? And the skill is also very important. One thing about skill is that at least you can always grow your skill. All of us were not where we are currently when we started. There's a room for self-development and personal development. I hope if we even get to that, it's also key. So at this point that like I said, Shane, the first is taking the right choice. And what do you need to make the right choice is just playing in that space that you derive the best. You have passion for it, and you can do it without getting paid. So you actually need to be key on your values, your areas of interest, and your skill. And your skill. This will make it easy for you to make a career decision that match up with your goals. So when you've done that, your values is, what do I mean by your values? Those are the things that are important to you. Your interests are the things that you enjoy doing. Your skills is what you do well. And by that, you can also now look into where you want to play. But I'm also have different questions probably that I've been asked in the past, probably because of the role I play in people trying to take up the role in information technology, trying to take up the role in IT within information security, information technology, the security aspect of the likes. But the truth is, either way, your skill is key. Your line of interest will always be the most important factor. So you don't just, because the truth is, in the country we have today and the likes of things, you might still not regularly, you can develop all these things. So mine is not coming to cast a stone that as long as things that you, all those things, you are either ways, but but there are still some things that will drive how much that you can be developed on the path that you are set to go, and your values and all those things. You can't take those ones for granted. So if you're aspiring to build a career, like Shane, we've rightly said, that are staying within the contents of all these things. When you refuse to give up, even when things look like not consistent, that is what is called diligence. And you also, it plays a vital role in how successful you become. Even after you've settled down for a role, you are in a particular field. You need to just be sure that this is what I want to do. You need to have taken on that decision, and you need to put in every effort to ensure that irrespective of things that comes around or whatsoever, this is the path I'm going, and this is how I want to attain that goal. So there's a goal at the end of the day, what you actually, the purpose of you going into the space.
Okay.
But to maintain it and to keep going at it, diligence is key. Know yourself, know the value, your interest, and try and develop your skills.
Yeah. Okay. Know yourself, know your values, develop your skills and interest. Thank you so much, Kehinde. I'd want to quickly touch on your career trajectory a bit. So you're an expert. You're in one particular area. At what point did you choose to specialize? So does it make sense to specialize, yeah, or be a generalist? What helped you in making that decision as to you specializing in this particular niche?
Okay, thank you very much. Today, well, I can say I'm an expert. Well, my role is within the information security space. Yes. And the truth is, that is a very, very valid and important question. It's one of the things we also struggle with at some point, but you need to make it clear as you grow. For me, you make conscious effort at it. It's very easy to generalize where you are growing at and all those things. But the truth is, there's a limit to how much you can grow when you are just special. So I hope this, whatever is have informed this question is probably somebody within the field that is trying to take a decision at the point that is meant to diversify, at the point that is meant to remain a specialist in a particular field. The truth is, today, the head of at the top, you need a bit of this knowledge. You need a bit of those knowledge, and those are the things. And beyond even the IT, you need a bit of the business knowledge, the operation knowledge, and everything. So you start up, and there's a focus. Probably you're within a team and the likes, and you need to be very conscious of it, being fully aware of the area that you dominate and your expertise at that. You drive your certification, your qualification around those areas. However, you need to also give room and be conscious. And when the opportunities to learn across board comes, you need to grab it. You need to grab it across board, because there's nothing that that will make you very sound without a general knowledge at the minimum basic. We're not saying you should be expert in everything you do, but at the minimum basic, you need to have that general. But your growth will be at some point, at the early point of your career, even if you are special and this, and that's why you have expert and the likes. The best that they come to do is to provide probably consultancy in that streamlined area of field. But by the time you expand and you're trying to have a bit of every other thing, without it necessarily slowing it down in the area that you're actually meant to deliver. Because the truth is you are being employed, if you are employed or you are expected to provide some services in a particular area. It's not an excuse that because I want to learn this, I want to learn that, you are now slowing down your growth in that area. You keep working at it, but for every opportunity you have to diversify, to learn new things, you pick it up. And you get to a stage in your life that you need to also change course and just learn new things. At the end of the day, you could be aspiring to be an information security consultant or one of the leading consultants person in that space or whatsoever. Your broad knowledge of that area and IT at large is very important. When you look like a role of a CIO, for instance, your knowledge across board is key. And by the time you've wasted, no, don't let me use waste time, you've taken so much to give yourself into learning other area, the more you're delaying that progress. So it's important that we're very conscious of that as we attain that growth, especially within the field. I'm speaking within the field that I operate, and I want to believe it applies to every area. You need to make that conscious effort, take advantage of all other opportunity that comes your way to learn some basic things across of every other thing. Everything within your general field of interest.
It helps to make you generally relevant as a go-to person, as a go-to person for knowledge or information. Yeah. So even if you're an expert in A and people know you understand a bit of B, C, D, and E. Yeah. It brings you into conversations. Yeah, and even makes you get to speak at tables where normally if you just had the knowledge of A, you wouldn't have been there. So very, very valid.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So just one more question before I go into the chat room to pick up questions there. It's bordering on visibility or work thing. Yeah. Perhaps when I saw these questions, I could this particular question I could even relate to it because it touches on me too personally. So you're diligent, you're consistent on your tasks, your role and everything. Yeah, you're working in a large team. Yeah, and most times you get to stay low key. You know, you're just the guy that does the Excel, the PowerPoint, and you send out, and your colleagues do the presentation and they collect everything. So how do you manage visibility? Yeah, when you're working in a large team. I know you've consistently done this. Yeah, for a long period of time. So how have you managed that yourself?
Oh, well, it's another very good question, and thanks. Is either way, there's something that is key, and teamwork is very key, and you need to ensure that you ensure that you work as a team. If you're part of a team, teamwork is very key. But the truth is, for someone like, it's almost impossible. Either way, your personal brilliance we always speak. There is no way. And you don't get to a situation whereby it is a collective effort and you're trying to draw glory and all those things to yourself. As much as you're trying to make yourself visible, and what is visibility? It's not just jumping at everything, there's a position, there's a part in your career that you need to make yourself visible. If you're part of a team, you need to make yourself visible within the team. And at the long run, it all comes down to the primary objective of the team. So your contribution, your personal, your skill, your knowledge within the team is very important. And that makes you have a strong team. One thing that we've always, at least when it comes to leadership and the likes, is growing a team of every different people with different areas of strength. No one is an island of anything. And one of the things that's probably where I work on, there's a core value, there's one of our core values that's the strongest within my organization is working in teams. And doing that, you even avoid the word I, or the auto single.
Yes.
You just stay still as we and the likes. But it still doesn't take away the praise of individual brilliance. Your work, what you do, we always stand for you. And the Bible also says, say a man that is diligent in his work, he won't stand beyond mere men, but kings and the like. But in the context of what this person has asked, and I understand why this question might have actually come, is balancing the place of teamwork and also still trying to make yourself visible and trying to at least let people know that this is my work and the likes. In some context, it's within the contents of the team. I'm not sure if I might not be right. I don't think it's necessary, but as you grow, there are places that you make your team visible. There are places. I'm responding to this question because I've always been part of a team. There's nowhere I work is all about growing the team and the like. So, but within the team, the structure is already in place that gives room for personal appraisal and the likes. Those are the places that you remain visible. And if you actually try to manage it, there's no way that your brilliance will not speak for itself. So it's a thing like while you're trying to be visible, you need to just work within the context of teamwork, ensure that the glory goes to the acknowledgement, all the accolades and everything is attributed to the team. Within the team, definitely, there is no way if you've done something consistently and you're an high flyer in 2 years, in 1 year, even in 2 months, it will always show. And beyond where you work, it also makes you strong, because either way, for some of us that are paid employee and the likes, you will have to do things on your own. You will still have to set out yourself, and you will have to, it's a personal development that you always be part of you. But in terms of trying to make yourself out there every time so that people will know that I'm the one that I'm doing I'm the one that I've done this, it might not be helpful. But not also because you're part of, you're climbing on that ladder and the likes. You also need the management to know that you, to have a full sight, when we say visibility of you, you just need to, you don't have to do things out of show off. So the contributions that need to be made, you make intelligent contributions. When meetings, when people are gathering in congregations like this, you make highly intelligent contributions and things like that, not necessarily showing off and trying to say, I'm the one, I'm the brain behind this, I'm the brain behind that, I'm the brain behind it. It doesn't work within the corporate organization where I work. Yes. I want to believe that it applies to quite a number of things, but it doesn't mean that you won't be able to contribute. You won't be able to add your quota to things. When questions are asked, when you are being asked directly to provide solution and to things, you go out of your way and you have it delivered. Your results will always speak for you, and that's what makes you visible out there, without necessarily struggling and making conscious effort towards, I need to be seen, I need to be seen, I need to be seen. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kehinde, so much. And my next question would, okay, it's not going to shake you, but it's going to make you tell us a bit more of yourself. Yeah, so I want to understand if at some point, have you made mistakes? Have you had, like, have you failed in any area? If no, tell us your most interesting, your most successful bit of your career, and how did you get it? And if it were a failure story you'd like to share, how did you manage it?
Okay. Well, thank you. That is, in terms of failure, maybe the truth is, and it's part of what I was sharing with my team some few days back, that truly where I play, really, there are rooms for errors, truly, errors that could be impacting. Basically, it's not necessary because you have faith in doing some things you do out of knowledge gap or the likes too. You can make error. But my own journey, on the other hand, because the question is a bit relatively tough for me, but I'll try and relate it within the sources that I've recorded. There are still highs and lows.
Thank you.
And that's the part that I will come from, because truly it's not just being boastful. Like I've said, I don't think we failed in some of the things we set out to do, but in terms of the overall objective, it's always been progress, truly. And I just thank God for that. I know it's just by grace. It's not always set out like that, but the journey is still far ahead. However, I don't pray for that. But notwithstanding, we've learned from people that have faith, and we've tried to take proactive measures in that. In life general, even in where we operate, we've deployed things that didn't actually go out the way we set it to go. It's planned to go. But I still won't call it failure, because the technology is part of the expectation. So you don't, there's a process to get things done. So you just make sure that you work within that process of getting things done. If in the course of that, things didn't actually go the way it's expected. So there's a governance around that I've handled it. It's not like I have faith. You've done your work, you've done your assignment. And for me to keep going, and I can't rule out the place of what we're actually talking on today, is just striving for excellence and the likes. And I only also try to leverage on my knowledge of the field. I'm not the best in the things I know, but I try to make use of the things I know and exploit it such a way that I maximize it. And it looks like I've done a lot. It's just, I don't. So in my career, basically, if I must say, I don't think I have. We rather talk of some of the sources and a lot of growth that I've been able to harness for myself, and through this, basically the grace of God. And we can't rule out the place of hard work truly to it, because if I've played in different roles within my space, and I've actually built relationship with different people within the course of all those engagements. One of the tricks that have got me going is actually relationship. And I also need to mention that wherever we work, is not just for a lot of people, one of us that are in the corporate environment, the likes. Relationship is also key. There are people that will stand for you. There are people that will speak for you. Gaining the trust, the loyalty of people that you work for, your stakeholders, is very key. It will always be a strength. It will be an instrument. It will be instrumental to your growth and the likes. So, Shion, I'm not sure if I'm able to answer that, but if I'm recording failure within the context of my career, is probably doing things that didn't work the way we have set it to work, and even in big picture, it's still not a failure, because it's still within the context of a process. There's a process that governs that activity, or a process which we abide with. So you won't see anybody give me query for impacting a service. And so when the governance and all those things you are meant to follow in terms of change management and the likes have been strictly adhered to. So basically for me, it's living within the governance, the terms, the expectation, the core values of the organization. If you strictly adhere by it, then you can be able to of external factor. We've learned a lot from a lot of our leaders, even on this platform. Despite that, there are still some areas whereby things will not still go the way you expect it to go. then how do you manage that? It comes down to the knowledge, the understanding, the things that you have, how you equip yourself, you make yourself strong over time, and you continue to do that as a process. I'm still relatively young on this journey, but we have people that we're looking up to. We have people that are far ahead of us that have faith, and we keep understanding them and trying to learn from them. Not because we are preparing for failure. However, it's just that we should anything can happen just to get us stronger and help us go further.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Kehinde. Perhaps to add a bit to the bit of relationship where you earlier mentioned, I know there's this Kalahari's lady, I think one of the MDs at Morgan Stanley. She gets to talk so well about essence of relationship and having a sponsor, particularly in the corporate space. Yeah, someone that could that will speak for you when you can't have access to the room. Exactly. Yeah. So very, very valid point. One last question here. That is a bit interesting, but I'd want to get your particular view on it. We have lots of emerging trends and opportunities in tech that's ongoing. Yeah, and this is somewhere you really like the back of your hand. Yeah, so for some individuals listening in, entrepreneurs and all, what are some one or two trends, opportunities that you technology that you feel that is really interesting to you that you feel people could harness? Yeah, irrespective of it, maybe from the perspective of career or something.
Okay.
Do you get? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Sharon. So
Okay.
but I think so. This question about is it emerging trend within the technology space or?
Yeah, that particularly interests you. That you just feel this is interesting to somebody on this call and pick it up and run with it.
Okay. Thank you very much. The truth is, there are different areas of emerging trends. It's emerging as the name implies. So there's a prediction by 2050 that 9 billion people we need to feed 9 billion people. You will need to clothe them. They will need to be transported, entertainment and employment. They also need to be educated and the like. So the opportunity is there. The things and the truth is the future. We've said that the future is digital, whether you like it or not. There's no way you can handle or be on the 9 billion people without going into digital. And what does that mean? It's a lot of things that all of us are fully aware of, but I won't go into that. It's time and big data and the likes, and what is digital, and it's just digitizing a lot of automating manual processes and the likes. So we all have a role to play. It's not just IT, it's not just technology. So one thing that comes to mind when I'm asked something like that is that the population is growing, the whole system is getting more complex, and we need to whatsoever provide services to these people. And the services will always span across different areas. Whether we like it or not, technology today will be driving a lot of things that will happen. We are enablers. We are enablers with just to deliver that business objective and whatever. So people will still play in their different roles. But if we're staying within the context of technology, how do you expect technology to deliver service to 9 billion people over time? Then the knowledge of our big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, it sounds as if people always say it when these questions comes up. But the truth is, if you are aspiring to stay within the technology phase, within that space of technology, which the opportunities will be even overwhelming, So there are a lot of opportunities to people.
Yeah, I agree.
The agile methodology to business transformation will be key. So all those things in terms of project management and all these things, they will still play their role. But that doesn't take away the fact of the skills, the general skills that everybody at least in terms of, I think in part of our session, Toles mentioned some of it. We can all those critical thinking, emotional intelligence, being creative, your negotiation skill and the likes is still also top notch. They will always sustain you. They will play a vital role as part of the relevant skills you need to. But one thing that we should focus on when it comes to technology is that the need to go purely digital is fast. We're even in the digital age. The system the technology system will become more complex. The resources, more resources will be needed. 9 billion people will need to be fed. 9 billion people, you can't reach out, be going into this. You need to have a lot of these processes with technology. And when we're saying this, these are huge data. This is big data already. The knowledge of data science and the things like that is key. The knowledge of being able to leverage on orchestration, automation, and the like is very key. And where I also operate, either way, you still need to ensure that critical information access are adequately protected. All this information are so security, cyber security, and people will still try to exploit weaknesses in this system till eternity. So it just comes down to the opportunities are just so much. So people
so much, honestly.
Yeah, there are just so much, because when 9 billion people, how do you want to do it?
Yeah. You made mention of cyber security. I just remember the recent news that happened with Twitter, where some network individuals' accounts were hacked, that they were using it to get Bitcoin exchange and all that. I'm like, so, man.
So okay.
Yeah, so, God, you wanted to drop an opinion on that.
No, that's key, but that is a bit. You are taking me to my comfort zone, but
exactly. So
if you stay within this context, because truly, it's one of my roles is to provide advisory service in terms of
in situations like that,
global threats like that, so that we can look into my organization and deploy and ensure that controls and the likes. And just for our knowledge, because we're also part of the entire new normal. COVID-19 have changed a lot of things. You need to be fully aware of this phishing approach and the likes of business email compromise and the like. So Twitter is a good example, and it was the leverage on social engineering. So when where we need to be, when we come together like this and people, there are professionals and the likes, you still need to manage information so that at least data privacy, you're not contravening and the likes, things that are confidential to your organization. You don't just go out there and blow it out and the likes and the. So if a whole Twitter and coming down, so one of the questions that have always been asked by the executive in my place is that somebody will pick the scenario of that Twitter and start saying,
this happens.
Kenny, you are saying, so when Twitter, when the big of even the Amazon and the likes are still getting breached, so how much more your own small, they will say, but the truth is, it comes down to a violation of basic principles in terms of information security practices. Today, there are complex security systems that have been deployed, but the weakest link, they say we're just as strong as weakest link. Is everybody? So this is just a slight take home for us, because I know we belong to different entity. We are strong. My organization is just as strong as the weakest person within the organization. You can deploy controls. You can do that. When there's a phishing email that's actually got to the box and you by yourself, go and click, enter your username and password onto a phishing link. There is nothing, you've already compromised yourself, and it's very
have access to the
whole Twitter can, and it happens, it is a lot. It's just Twitter is not one of them. So one of my work is to leverage from the learning of things like that. But it's things like that will always happen, and that's the role of cybersecurity. Till tomorrow, every different forum, different platform. Today, one of the focus area for me is how to strengthen the security around collaboration and meetings. people are leveraging on Microsoft Teams. As secure as they are, is the road to still assess the risk, do a risk assessment, come out with gaps area. We're working with Microsoft on a lot of things currently in terms of, so the cybersecurity, we can't rule it out. Everybody will try to exploit, and the job is there for you. So
the way you even engaging me, I'm already so interested in cybersecurity.
no, it's an interesting space.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wanted to quickly hit on something Elia said. At some point, we were talking about technology, how data is very important, and the likes. And it reminds me of a write-up I earlier read and says, the people that can gather the most data and can make the most sense out of it will always remain king in whatever they're doing. So if you look at the likes of the big four, Amazon, Apple, Google, they thrive on data. Yeah, and they make lots of money from them understanding you and predicting you. Yeah, so if you're considering opportunities and whatever, make sure whatever system or product you're building is something that can amass data from the scratch. This would even also help you to pivot if perhaps you run into a headblock or a problem or something. Yeah, so thank you, Kehinde. Let me go to the chat room and pick up quite a number of questions. Yeah, I've seen, you made mention of integrity earlier on, and in this time of NCDC and NDDC, and this integrity is a very so now I have a question. Yeah, I know you have touched on it, but just a minute on it again. Yeah, so how can integrity and honesty be maintained in this corrupt generation? Yeah, so there's no one direct answer, but I'd want you to touch on it, particularly as it relates to corruption and you upholding your values or something.
Yeah, I will stay within a very safe zone, which is context of career and things like that. The truth is, I know the person that asked the question knows that. So when I see a question like this, I don't just jump to just maintain it. It's understanding from the perspective of whoever has asked. Because the truth is, everybody knows that you need to maintain and the like, but for you to have asked that, the environment does not even allow you to do that and the likes. So it depends on where you play. For me, being a very regulatory industry, notwithstanding, if they should still dig deep as not within my own space, but within that financial sector, there's still a lot of things that are happening there. But the truth is, what is the role you want to play? In terms of the bigger picture and the likes? The change begins with you. The change begins. So for me, and it's pretty easy for me. And I'm not sure. I'm not saying it might be easy for every other person, because there's high value that my own organization play on integrity. So one of our core values is upholding the highest level of integrity. And it's part of your appraisal, it's part of everything, it's part of what you've assessed on, respecting each other, upholding the high level of integrity, working in teams. Those are built into the core values. And permit me to also mention that if I've stayed that long and it has always been from one level to the other, that simply means that you've trained up yourself to live within those core values that has almost become part of you. And one of the feedback that I always say too, that within some of my probably the people that I have opportunity to share some things with is, it's easy to just play in that role. Once you make those core values, your own personal core values. So those are my personal core values. So for you within the, if you're pursuing on the path of the career, we can't take the place of integrity away. It's unfortunate that at the top there we see our leaders still doing the things we do. A lot of people have been saying that you are still saying this because you are not there. But the truth is, if you are faithful at the little things, when the big ones come, you will still remain faithful. So we don't need to have to be completely distracted by corrupt nature. In the little space that you operate, try and make the difference. The truth is, the value, your hard work, your integrity, your loyalty, and all those things will always speak for you. And people who can fight for you. That's how you gain the trust, the loyalty of people we discussed 2 weeks ago. And that's how you excel and you grow on that path. So it's not to be, we can't compromise it. We just need to strive to ensure. And if you're in a place that you can't sustain, you're probably in the wrong place, and you also need to start looking at it. If nothing, you can't just uphold that highest level of integrity. It speaks on your personality, it speaks on yourself, on your values. And those are the things we should always strive and work to ensure. The whole essence of young and excellence is just that we create that excellence, that difference in our society. So we don't have to live like everyone else is living and what they do.
Okay, thank you so much, Kehinde. We need to. Okay, I'll take a question. Yeah, I think this is it. Please keep your questions coming in. Keep your questions coming in. We are so grateful. Let's engage Kehinde now that we have the opportunity to. So, okay, I have a question here that says, what are the soft skills that helped you? What are the soft skills that helped you to navigate the murky challenges with people, particular to colleagues and seniors? Yeah, soft skills that help you to, sometimes seniors, it might be hard. Some seniors might just be tough and all, and you just need some. So what soft skills has helped you personally?
Okay. For me, I think I've mentioned it, but I think the personal question is for his relationship, being able to build relationship and people management, so to say. Mine is more of having ensure that I need this person and I need to have that strong, good relationship. So beyond my skill, I've always said, and I don't hide it, that in every area of where I've found myself, I'm not actually the best in that area, but I'm able to leverage on my soft skill to bring the best out of what I do. So it is very key, and I like it. You can't do away with it. You need to identify that soft skill. You're being able to, your level of judgment and decision making and the likes, all those things comes to play. Your complex problem solving, being able to cognitive flexibility, just to spike up a thought out of anything, different things, and be able to flip and switch and still keep up with the pace. It will always help. But the strongest one for me, which I try to encourage people, is its relationship. We can't rule it out, even if it's very official and the likes. You still need to build relationship with your team, with entire unit and everybody that you need to work on a personal ground. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I am not seeing any other question in the chat room here. Please drop your questions if you have questions. Okay, I think one just. Okay, or perhaps if you'd want to ask a question yourself, you might use the emoji. You could raise up your hand using any of the stickers so I could see, and we could unmute you so you could ask your question. Okay. Kehinde, thank you so much. This has been a very. Okay, I think we have someone with a question there. Hello.
Yeah, Sean, can I say something?
Oh, okay. Hi, Damola. Yes, please.
Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
I think we've had a wonderful time with Kehinde today, and there's a lot to learn from him. And as a big brother, yeah. I'm very proud of him. He's a big brother to a number of people, but I'm his big brother, so I'm very proud of what he has done. And he's someone that, so what he's been sharing, we can testify to it. So that early days of being the person that will not sleep until 4 a.m. because a small private school that your parents are running have to start exam on Monday, having to travel by bus to Lagos, go to Otigba, start to arrange one antivirus, jump from one place to the other, come back at 12 midnight because the exam has to start on Monday and you are not being paid. That diligence was building something in him that became relevant when he then got to where he works now. You understand? So I think the key message that we can take away from this, apart from all the other things that he has spoken around, is that spirit of diligence where you're faithful at that place where you are. Whether anybody is watching, whether anybody is paying you, whether anybody is rewarding you, you are diligent at that thing that you're doing now, and the reward will always come. First is building you, then doors are opening. Eventually, you will always be rewarded for that act of diligence. There are a lot of people who are diligent. So we are watching this program now. There are a lot of people working behind the scene, to ensure that it happens. That's diligence also. But even in our places of work, we all have to be diligent. I can remember what the head of his department, when he joined, and I'm setting him up now. When he joined the place where he works now, the guy, because I think I dropped his CV. So the guy came to me after a while and said, thank you. Imagine that you introduce someone to an organization and then the boss come back to you and say, we were not sure before, but thank you for this guy that you have brought. So when people try to drop their CV, the question I'm asking is that if I drop your CV, will they blame me or will they thank me? You understand? And he's built a fantastic career in a very competitive sector. So it's just a challenge to us. Diligence, consistency, keeping at what we're doing when nobody's watching, just staying put at it. It will always pay off eventually. Some of us listening are the people we'll be interviewing in 5 years' time, where you'll be telling us the story of your own diligence and how it has paid off. But it's just something very vital that we need to take away from here. And thanks, Kenny, for sharing with us. Thanks, Sean, for the moderation.
Thank you, Damola, for the opportunity, and to the YEC team for starting this initiative almost 20 years ago. And they've been consistent and they've been doing this diligently, So big kudos to everyone. So, hi, Toyin, can you hear me? Would you want to give a closing remark before we call it a day?
Sean, before Tony gives a closing remark, I want to speak on the next program we're having. So this is a continuous session. So it's our Chart the Future series. And what we're doing is bringing people who are experienced in their career, experienced in business, and people who will help us chart the right direction. So we are all here because we were riding on other people's shoulders. So you also have the opportunity to learn from other people. I can say one for one, I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. So if I share that with you, is to help you not to make that kind of mistake. And then we all build on each other. So we're having another fantastic session in 2 weeks' time. And if you were part of the last session that we had, and also, of course, part of today's session, you will know that what we're going to be having is going to be fantastic. It's going to be Ayo Idowu again. And Ayo Idowu will be speaking to us about globalization of career, globalization of opportunity. Now, you understand that there's this craze around Canada and all of those things. So he'll be speaking to us around not following the crowd, but also being intelligent to know where the opportunities are. So if you want to go and study abroad, Nigeria is producing a lot of skillful youth. So where are those opportunities? How do you position yourself? So it's going to be fantastic. I think each person here should try to invite as many people as possible. It's going to be in 2 weeks. We're going to share the link with us very soon. Please, let's share the news. Let everybody be here. It's really around how can you be in Nigeria and be relevant globally? How can you be in Nigeria and also be headhunted by organizations in Canada, in US, in Europe, and everything? So it's really around building that capacity for a global world, you know. So next session is also going to be as powerful as the one we've had today. So, Tony Daniels, are you still there, sir?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah. Just closing remarks, sir.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And I want to say, well done for staying with us till now. I believe that, as I said at the beginning, you can agree with me that it's a time well spent. It's a moment well invested. I want to believe that we will, as the good book says, not be hearers of it alone, but just ensure that we apply these things to our daily lives so that, as Damola said, in a few years' time, you will be the person we're going to be talking about, or that's going to be talking to us about how these things, you've applied them and how they've shaped your career. Once again, thank you so very much. And I can't wait again for us to gather again, 8th of August. This thing will continue, and then we're going to enjoy ourselves once again. Thank you so very much. At this moment, let me use this opportunity to tell you about YEC. And thank you. You can see it being shown on the screen for us. You can follow us on Facebook. Make sure you tweet at us, tag us in your tweets on Twitter, and also follow us on Instagram. We also have a website address that showcases our events and our programs. Also, make sure that you participate in that. And don't forget, through all these channels, you can send us your feedback. That will be well appreciated. I'm speaking because I know some will listen to this recorded program later on, and some of you that are listening to it that are not part and parcel of YEC. Just know that from those channels, you can drop us your feedback, your suggestions, and sure believe that we can change the world together, and your own advice and your own feedback can also help us as we channel the course of division of YEC. Thank you once again, and do have a wonderful weekend.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Weekend.